Welcome to the Been There, Done That podcast, where we give our guests the opportunity to talk openly about their career, their ups and downs, and all things in between. You can follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and you can also watch it on YouTube. If you enjoyed the podcast, give us a like and a follow on our social media, which you can find in the link in the show notes. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 16. This week, I was joined by Ruby Schleicher, Collingwood AFLW player, tearing it up across half-back. Ruby's coming off a breakout season where she placed second in the Clubs Best and Fairest and was selected in the All-Australian Team of the Year. Our chat covered a variety of topics, from changes that she's made to prepare herself for seasons, the struggles of living away, and having to deal with nerves when the pressure is on. All the best to Ruby and Collingwood for the upcoming season, and listen in on who Ruby would love to choose to have dinner with. Thank you all for listening to the podcast. Now we're live. This is recording now.
Wow.
How are you doing?
Good,
Ruby?
mate. How are you
well?
doing? Yeah, always well.
Good to be back.
Absolutely.
Lucky you got out in time, didn't you?
I know. Literally, so when I was meant to get out about 5 days later, and then they got that case, and that day I was talking to Dad on the phone. I was like, if I get locked out and I have to wait 28 days till I can get back in, I'm going to be filthy.
Yeah.
They
had 1 or 2, and then it was all right, and then they had the big lockdown after that.
And then lucky I moved my flights forward, because if I didn't and if I flew out, I would have been able to fly out on that day, but I would have had to go into isolation because it would have backtracked to the day that I got in. So I would have had to do 6 days isolation at home. I was like, fuck that.
That's real lucky then. Real lucky you changed it all up.
Oh, 100%. And why would you want to be there in winter anyway? Get back to WA, see all the fam.
Way better. Well, it's been cold here, but not as cold as it is over in Melbourne, isn't it?
God, no. Nah, never is.
It's so cold over there. I don't understand how they do
I remember my first winter over there. It was horrid. I could not believe how waking up, and I was doing cafe work my first winter over there, and I was starting at 5:45 in the morning and just being like, what is this? -4 degrees in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. So
do you go to the snow down there at all?
I haven't made it. I want to go to Mount Buller. And I've got one of my best friend over there, Paris. She's got a place right near there in Mansfield. It's just down the bottom of the mountain. So we haven't, during the winter, I guess during the winter I'm playing VFL a lot of when I have been there. Yeah. I've been playing VFL, so it's hard to get a weekend to get away and sort of enjoy it.
Well, last year you were able to come back and play a little bit of AFLW, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, it's a whole of a lot more than the girls that were in Victoria got. I reckon you could see a real difference in that in AFLW this year. It's the 2 teams that were in the grand final were 2 teams that got a winter series, got a winter series going, and then Freo as well, who Waffle girls, Waffle was going. But, the Victorians, they didn't get any winter league. So, really, they hadn't played footy for however long, bloody 8 months or so.
And because it's such a new sport as well, the more experience you get, there's a clear difference between, there's night and day difference if you notice it.
Yeah, that off-season is, so crucial. So, it's, for me, that was the difference between me and my performance was coming back here, getting confidence in Waffle, working with you in S&C, that was the major difference rather than, the Victorians who were stuck inside for bloody 5 months. That's a shit preparation, but they didn't have a choice, which sucks.
And you were able to see it this year playing against other teams?
100%, yeah. I think, there was still, the better teams are still unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, obviously you've got, West Coast struggled, but they also have had a lot of injuries to a lot of really important girls in their list, and they're a very new club. But Freo have been Jets, and you could definitely see that this year that they got a winter season underway.
So what's it like at the moment with the VFLW? Are they playing or are they not playing?
Not playing. They got postponed.
Oh, okay, so they'll catch up.
I reckon they'll hopefully get going in a couple of weeks. Collingwood had I was meant to stay and play a couple games. And then when they got that case, I was like, out of there.
Yeah, fair
I was like, I'm not risking it to play a couple games if I can come home and play for East Freo. And then
unfortunately, what did you do to your wrist?
I was back in round 4 or 5 for the AFLW season, and I don't even know what happened this time. I think I got caught in a tackle, and I remember coming off to the bench and just being like, oh, fuck, I think I broke my wrist again, because obviously I did it last year. And they were like, no way. So, but strapped it up and kept going. It was all right. And then the following game, right before I ran out, just got it localed to try and get out. And first tackle cooked it. I was like, that didn't help. Yeah, that was shocking. So, but I had it strapped, got through the game. And then the following week, during the week, just got it cortisoned, and that helped me get through, got scans and stuff and got it cleared for any fractures. And then got it cortisoned and managed to get through the season with it strapped. Like, could still definitely feel it. But it was nothing that was going to stop me from playing, obviously.
Did it affect your game at all?
Struggled to bounce, like that movement, bouncing. Yeah. That's struggled.
Weird. No, marking,
the game that I did it.
Yeah.
I came off. I was like, oh, fuck, what was that? And then got it strapped up and went out and took overhead mark straight away and was fine. I was like,
that's so weird.
Yeah, really weird. I think it's sort of like the positions that it went in, and because it was like that ligament sort of down this side, it was when it was sort of getting crunched that way, it was fine. So, marking, you're sort of pretty stiff in a pretty neutral position. So, I don't know. It was a weird one, but, just needed to get a ligament fixed up. So Uncle Greg bloody got me into his surgery and
Uncle Greg.
Yeah.
Lucky he didn't touch you up anywhere else. He didn't give you a little – it was on Instagram you were saying don't cut my eyebrows off. Cut my eyebrows
I said to – because he does – my dad needed like surgery on his hand, on his ligaments, and a few of our mates and stuff like that will go and see him for any surgeries they need. And he's known for sort of toying with them a bit, either painting their fingernails or like drawing polka dots on their face and stuff. So like when I was going in, I just said to him, like, one rule: my eyebrows better be there when I get out of here. Like, but before I went under, I said, if my two eyebrows have to be on my head, and if they're not, you're in trouble. And so he thought it'd be pretty funny to get a lolly snake and tape it on there. And obviously when you come out of surgery and you're all out of it, they've came to when they were sort of wheeling me around the hospital, and like me like smiling at everyone, not realising this snake on my head.
How long did it take for you to realise?
It took the nurse wheeled me in and goes, oh, you obviously need a surgeon. And I was like, oh, why? And I was like, look at your head. And then they like gave me a mirror, and I've got this lolly snake across my forehead, so it's giving me a monobrow.
Why are you afraid of losing your eyebrows?
Because why would I want to, it would just be such a Greg thing to do, to shave an eyebrow or something like that while I'm under. Would you be able to handle having one eyebrow in public? God, no. Are you kidding? No way. That'd be shocking. I'm not good enough at makeup to stencil that on.
You have to look up some YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, something like that. I think you can get like eyebrow tattoos, like stick-on ones. The kid tattoos that you dampen them. And then
I think there's also you can do. There's I'm not sure. People they get their eyebrows actually tattooed. Like they actually do it.
Yeah, like
thicken the eyebrows up.
That's weird. I know. I'd probably have to go to that. I'm not sure how good it would look, but I'm just glad
it'll look weird.
Not shaved. Yeah, bloody oath.
That's right.
Yeah,
eyebrows looking good.
Thanks, mate.
Coming from me.
Yeah, that's it.
I probably can't even see my eyebrows. Pretty thin.
We'll get a bit. I have a problem there, mate.
I have a problem. They're not thick enough.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying like Muay Thai or running, the sweat runs down through my eyebrows into my eyes.
Into your eyes.
I have to wear like headbands.
Just don't wear sunscreen, mate. That's the worst. I know. You get sunscreen. I can't play even, because we play in peak summer. All the girls put on the zinc and the sunscreen and that. I can't do it because it literally just like runs into my eyes, and then it's just game over.
How does it go playing in the summer? Is it like tough? How tough is it?
I mean, I love it. I hate playing in the wet. Like I don't like wet weather footy. I don't like being cold. So I would rather play in 38-degree heat than pissing down, for sure. I really like it. And it's only going to get hotter, obviously, with our season getting moved forward a couple months.
In December.
We're really going to be playing in the peak of it, so that'll be interesting. But, yeah.
Do you prepare any different to, like, in the heat? Do you have to drink?
Just the lead up, making sure you're, like, hydrated and that, all the sort of typical stuff. But
the club look after you with Powerade. And
they'll usually have, like, some icy poles or something for us before we run out, hydrolate icy poles and that. Or, like, on the bench they'll have, like, ice cold towels to put over our heads and that, which come in pretty handy.
Does cramping come into play a bit? The girls?
I don't really cramp. There's a few do. Jamie Lambert, she is like a renowned cramper. You will see her all the time, like pumping out the carbs on the ground in like the third, fourth quarter. So
really?
she's right into the pickle juice. But yeah, we're in our second year, we played in Alice Springs. Second year or third year, I can't remember, one of them. We played in Alice Springs, and as like we have community ties out there with some of the communities up north.
Oh yeah.
And so to Melbourne. So we played like exhibition game sort of thing up there, like a community game. And we went up 6 days early so that we could get used to the heat. And I think we were playing in like 39-degree heat, and it was like 7. It was 7 at night or something like that, and it was beautiful. Like sun was setting over the the mountains and that. And it was a very cool game to play. But we had girls vomiting in the goal square from the heat and all that. Like I don't think it's a different heat up there as well. It's
dry.
Yeah, very just. It wasn't the funnest game, but it was. Yeah, it took a lot. The heat took a lot of getting used to, but the heat, that we play in is nothing compared to that. So I feel like if I can get through that without vomiting or shitting myself, I think that's pretty sweet.
like the triathletes when they finish at the end of their races.
Yeah, exactly.
Some pretty gnarly stuff happens.
I know.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. So
have you heard the David Goggins? He did that. He did like an ultra, I think 100-mile race, and he didn't train for it.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story?
No.
He he wanted to enter this 100-mile race or whatever. And he had to do this other race beforehand, and it was a 24-hour race. And the guy said to him, if you want to do this 100-mile race, you have to get 100 miles in 24 hours, right? So he didn't do any running beforehand. He was just like doing like bodybuilding kind of workouts. And he just started like, it can't be that bad. How hard is it? Anyway, he started doing the run, and he reckons he was about 70 miles or something through it. Long story short, 70 miles through it, just started like shitting blood, like just shitting himself. And then by the end of it, he ended up making, he made 100 miles in 23 hours or something like that. And,
he's a freak.
And he was like getting people to carry him like home.
Yeah.
He was like, his body was just went into disarray.
Yeah.
And then the funniest part was he ended up calling up the guy. He was like, I made 100 miles in 23 hours. And the guy on the other end of the phone said to him, the whole point of the race is to run 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then it was like David Goggins was just like, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to do it now.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said after that he wasn't able to move for like 2 weeks.
What a freak.
So yeah,
honestly.
the body goes.
But then he continues to do that sort of shit. Like,
which is weird,
it's
right?
not like he does it once and then he's like, oh, well, like that's done. Like, then he like pushes the next level. So won't catch me doing that.
No.
I do fitness for football. I'm like, I don't do it because I like
enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy gym.
Yeah.
And I can get to a place where I feel really good during a run or after a run. But like people talk about when they get into like this meditative space, and like my mum does that. Like
just
she's got 4 kids that drive her insane, so she needs her run. Otherwise, she goes nuts.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, and she's like, that run is therapeutic for her.
100%.
Running's not therapeutic for me. I'm like, I feel like, but also I don't want to go out and just run 6Ks like she does, at a steady pace. If I'm going to go to a run, or something, or like fartlek sort of stuff, because I'd rather do, go really hard and cover 7, 8, 9Ks rather than plod along and, do the same pace. I'm like, I need something, and then I get to walk if I do fartleks as well. I'm like, at least then I get like
just
a little bit of
push
a
hard and
in
go
between.
slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same. I'm a little bit with your mum on this one as well. A little bit therapeutic, especially if like doing Muay Thai or something where I get to let a bit of aggression out. Or
yeah.
Because I'm a bit of a competitive person. If I don't, I can feel it. If I don't train for a couple of days, 3 or 4 days, I feel like just jacked up, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Sounds like I can feel like I need to just like release some tension.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely feel better. I mean, like I haven't been able to do anything. I had, like after surgery, I had the cast, the full arm one. Yeah, so, and I didn't want to sweat in it because it was going to go all gross. And when I work out, I sweat so much.
Yes.
So I was like, I just, gave myself the breather, which I probably needed, like coming off the season. It probably wasn't the worst thing for me. But you do 10 days of no running, you're like, you just feel gross. Like, I notice how much better I feel after a workout, after a gym session, like straight after. And then for the rest of the day, you're like, fuck,
relaxed.
One in the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always
Like,
feel,
That's more so
add
the
momentum.
satisfaction I get with it rather than the during therapeutic. It's like the after, fuck yeah, I feel good about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That sort of
100%.
thing. Or seeing improvement in a run or a gym. You know what I mean?
I always feel way more calm after I finish working out.
Yeah.
And sometimes I
100%.
just sit there, I just do like a sigh, like if I go, let's go like that. I just feel like relax. And everyone's like, what are you sighing for? I'm
You'd
like,
be
I'm
an
just
angry
relaxed.
little man. You'd be an angry little man if you didn't have the gym.
You're right. I am. I get short, I get snappy. It's weird. It's one of those weird things, like a human thing, because we obviously evolved from a species that's done a lot of work to a society now where we spend most of our time sitting down doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I reckon there's a little bit of instinct in us that tells us to go out and do some hard work, I guess, like lift some heavy weights, go for a hard run.
Yeah.
I think there's something primal about that.
Yeah.
How do you feel your body goes through the season? Did you feel like at the end of the season you're like, I need a bit of a break, or because you obviously went waffle and then you went straight into the AFLW preseason?
I had a couple months, 1 or 2 months to sort of when did waffle finish? Because we only had 7 games and then we made it to the prelim. I reckon I had probably a month and a half or 2 months to really just hone in, up my gyms a week, so I didn't have to think about being sore for games or anything like that. So had a couple months, enjoyed myself. Like, I like to go out drinking with my mates as much as, the next person. So made sure, I enjoyed myself, because during the season, it's a short AFLW season. So it's not really worth it to, go out on the piss during that. So no one really does.
Oh.
We all
you
sort
sacrifice
of
a little bit, do you?
Yeah, pretty focused and but it's worth it. Like
100%.
Like there's a rule in there that if it's a 7-day break, you can go out for some drinks as long as you're not getting silly and bloody vomiting all over yourself and stuff like that. Like, if I was a first year 18-year-old, I probably wouldn't be doing that, because I think you need to build up that trust with the club
and the playing group.
and the playing group and that. But like, the older girls, they'll, you can go out for a few and enjoy yourself a bit, but it is also that you sort of think about it as, oh, well, what was it worth? You're sacrificing, if you get through to finals, sacrifice 11, 12 weeks of no drinking for an ultimate reward and feeling really good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just make sure I enjoy myself over that break, just spend some time with my mates and then, but like train really hard. Yeah. And it's easy then, because your goal is in sight to get to, like, my goal at that stage is, all right, get over to Victoria and perform the best I can in fitness testing. That is my goal then. And then and the pressure's on then, because they expect that from you. And especially because this was my first time living at home in 4 years. The pressure was on me, because the club were going, all right, this is a test for Ruby. She has underperformed the first 3 years. She had a shit run with injury last year, only got 1 game in. We're going to trust her. I went to the club and said, I really want to go home. I think for my mental health, it'll be the best thing for me, and I can go home, refresh and come back like ready to go. And they trusted me with that. And then, came back and had the best year that I've had. So
yeah. Did they communicate that to you? Or so you knew that when you came over here that they were putting a bit of trust into you?
Oh yeah. I sat down with, I put it to Tessie, who was our operations manager and like a very close friend of mine. She's probably like one of my most trusted people at Collingwood at the time.
Yep.
And I said to her, I said, look, I think I need to go home over the winter. And this was before COVID was a thing. This was before the season. I put this to them.
Oh, before the season started.
Before our season started that year. I said, look, like, I think, like, just a heads up, I don't think I should stay here and play VFL. I really think, like, just for my mental health, and like, I get really homesick over there. I've got my boyfriend here. I've got all my family here. And I love WA. So I want to play at Collingwood as long as I can, but I think to do that, I need a little taste of home. I put that to her. She put it to the club, and then they called me in for a meeting. I was with the head coach, the list manager, the physio, and the operations, and Tessie. And they said, we're going to trust you with this. We'll trust you to do the right thing. We want you to keep in contact with us this often. And
so they had like little check-ins with you.
Yeah. But then, I mean, COVID hit, so it's lucky I was moving home anyway. Otherwise, I would have been in lockdown, not working, not making any money, having to pay rent, not being able to get back. So, I mean, it all worked out, and that I think that was a driving factor as well. I was like, right, they put a lot of trust in me, letting me do this. I need to pay them back now and work bloody hard and make sure I come back in good nick and not take advantage of being at home with my mates, getting on the piss, that sort of thing. So I just needed to, show that I could do both and come back in good nick.
And for those as well who didn't know, as soon as you came over, you were straight on to me on the blower up with me. You sent me a message, and it was 3 gyms a week as well as our 2 trainings and plus game.
Yeah. So I came down the east and met you and then said, can you help us out? And
I sorted you out, and then you played out the season.
But up to the gyms. Had got back and sprained my ankle like the second training. So that had me out for like 3 or 4 weeks. Perfect. And then we just added, it was just perfect, wasn't it? It was just, that was my year summed up. Like I'd like hurt my knee in pre-season for AFLW and then broke my wrist tripping over backwards after I marked the footy in my second game of the year, first 40 seconds.
Tripping over backwards.
Yeah, I know, marked the ball.
Do you land out with your arm out extended?
Literally like coming out of the back line, marked the footy, turned around, playing on Marvel Stadium. Mum and Dad had flown over. I played the week before against Freo in Freo. So that was really good. Like made it through the game. First game back from hurting my, I think it was MCL or PCL. Can't remember. I think it was MCL, I think. Just a grade 1. But it had me out for 5 weeks.
Yep.
And then, played Freo, which was really good. All the family got to come watch me play my one game for the AFLW season. And then we're playing on Marvel against Melbourne the following week. And Mum and Dad flew over for it to come watch me play. And first 40 seconds, I mark it. So I was on early.
You played on.
I was on early. All right, 40 seconds, got a touch.
Intercept mark, was it?
Nah. Ash Brazel coming out of the back line, kicked it to me, and I marked it. And I've turned to get the videos on my Instagram. I look like such a dickhead. But I'm like running backwards, like off the mark, and literally trip over my own feet, put my arm back, and I could feel it. I could feel it straight away. I was like, fuck. But I got up and like took my kick, and all I can hear is like Ash, like I can hear Braz piercing herself laughing behind me, like absolutely piercing herself. And I was like, I had like a little smile on my face as well, trying to cover up how much pain I'm in. And I'm like taking the kick, and I'm like, it was another couple minutes till I could get like a break to get off. And I've like gotten off. I was like, I think I just fucking broke my wrist. And they were like, no. And I just had a few tests. They tried to make me do a push-up. I was like, I was like, that is fucked. They kicked a few like balls into me. Yeah. And I was literally going like that to mark it.
Yeah.
I was like, adrenaline will get me going. Like just strap it up. Like I'll get back out.
Oh, you wanted to go back out?
Yeah, I did. So I was off the rest. That was in the first 40 seconds. Was off the rest of the quarter, and then went back on the second quarter and got literally like marking contest, got the slightest hit to it and was done. I was like, that is fucked. So
it is, but good on you trying to get out there. That's tough.
Yeah, it was,
Tough or stupid?
I was just hoping, probably a bit of both. I had to make up for the like it was stupid tripping my own feet and breaking my wrist. Like,
a little bit of embarrassment there.
Yeah, 100%. So and then obviously that was me done.
How long for? That was 6 to 8 weeks?
It was.
Did you have surgery?
No, the surgery, it was not going to be any different between getting surgery and just letting it heal. So I was in one of these things for 10 weeks. Ooh. If we made the grand final, I could have pushed my case.
Yeah, okay.
Which was 5 weeks away. But then the season got cancelled. So they were like, all right, well, let's take advantage of this time, and kept me in it for 10 weeks just to be safe. And then that's when, Perth were in their semi-lockdown sort of thing. There was no waffle or anything going on. And then, came down to East Freo, sprained my ankle. That was awesome. Another couple of weeks. And then, finally got on the park. And
then we got through the season. And so this all leading up to something. We had about 8 weeks. I reckon there was an 8-week box. I remember writing 2 4-week programs for you. 4 gyms a week. And into back to the AFLW preseason testing for Collingwood.
Yeah.
And what happened? Did you actually before Did you feel the pressure going in?
No,
Or did you feel you confident?
My confidence
Yeah.
was like at an all-time high.
Yeah.
I was feeling so good. I've never felt that good. So I was just like, yeah, I was.
Because we worked pretty closely together over that period.
Yeah, just those, and like we'd upped it to like 4 gyms a week.
Yeah, we spoke.
And I was doing everything. I was like running, biking, swimming, like doing everything I could. There was nothing else for me to do over here apart from that. So, felt really good. Backed myself in. Was definitely the strongest I've ever been. And then went over there, then had testing and had like bench testing. And the previous, I don't even think we did it the previous year. I reckon the year before that my max, you do like your max reps at 40 kilos. And the year before that I'd gotten 6.
Yep.
And then
6 reps at 40 kilos.
6 reps at 40. I took the piss in gym the first 3 years. And that's the difference between my first 3 years. I didn't know how to gym. Like I wouldn't have a clue what to do until like I moved in with my Irish housemate Sarah Rowe, or she moved in with me.
Yep.
And she's the ultimate athlete. And started going to the gym with her and learnt how to do it.
Okay.
And that's when I learnt like, this is what happens and this is what you can do if you do it properly. And then coming back and working with you and actually like pushing it then. You know what I mean?
And we spoke, there was good communication between both of us as well. We went both ways. Like you spoke what you needed and I said
definitely.
what you need.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like when you've got someone, when I'm over there, I'm held accountable by, my housemates who are the Irish girls. They hold me accountable. We go to the gym together. We push each other. And when I'm here, like, you were holding me accountable. So it's important for me to have that, but I also know how good it feels when you're at the top now. So now I have that drive in myself to go, all right, I'm going to work here.
So that's one of the things I think that gets lost, or not many people see that side as well, especially for younger talent coming up, how hard you have to work when people aren't always watching you. So obviously Collingwood weren't watching you over here doing your gym sessions, and you had to keep yourself accountable. Like you had to come to me and say, Maddie, I need this gym. And in your credit, I wrote the program, but you had to come and still do it, you know? So it's that sort of stuff that younger kids and younger players with AFL or any sport in general need to kind of learn that themselves. Or
and it'll take a while. Like as an age, like took me almost 3.5 years, 3 years for it to click, figure it out, that to click and realize the importance of it. So it'll take a while. It's not something that just clicks. I took the piss for a long time before it got through my head. Yeah,
and so when you came back, you did the testing, you performed really well. And you got through the start of the preseason. Did you feel like this was going to be the year? Like, did it click then?
Yeah, it was just sort of like the first preseason that I had a clear run at it. Had like a couple little niggles, like little adductor sort of niggles that, had me out for a couple weeks, but nothing that was groundbreaking or anything like that. Probably the point, like I was training really well. But I think it's like, I think you can get in your mind sometimes that, and there's definitely are players out there that are great trainers but can never bring it on the game day. You know what I mean? Like there are players that will kill it in training and then just go missing in games.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, whether it's a confidence thing, whether it's they're just not up to it, but they build confidence against players that they're used to, that they play with, that you figure people out. Like game days, you get to play this team once a year. You don't have enough time to figure out players. You know what I mean? You prep for them the week leading up. When you're in trainings, you're, game sims and all that, you're playing against girls you've played with for years. So that it's maybe that. But like I reckon those first few years I got that in my head because I always trained well. That wasn't the problem. It was that I couldn't perform. So I reckon that's got in my head that I was like, fuck, am I one of those players? And then you start to doubt yourself. But the thing is, I just wasn't giving myself the tools to do it. I wasn't fit enough. I wasn't, I was carrying too much weight. I was, and so when I came back this season and I was fit enough and I was strong enough, I was training well, but I really had to play a game against a foreign team for me to go, oh shit, no, this could be the year for me. So, you know, we had a scratch match against North Melbourne, like a preseason one, and I performed not bad. And then had another one. We had another one against someone. Can't remember who.
Mm-hmm.
And performed well again. And then just, like that first Carlton game, I was playing against Darcy Vesio. She was my job for the day. And she's a gun. And I was nervous. I was so nervous. Like that entire day, we were playing a night game at 7:30 or something like that. That whole day, like I was sitting on the couch. I was shaking. Like my housemate would come over and like put her arm like on my shoulder or something, and I was visibly shaking. I've not been that nervous since the very first ever game. Like it was so weird, and I think it was because I didn't get a run at it the year before, and
it's been so long.
It'd been a long time since I'd played AFL footy.
Yeah,
and so it was so nerve-wracking. And then it was a pretty big crowd there as well. But as soon as I had a good game that game, and I was like, fuck, I'm like, all right, I can do this then. And if I can shut down Darcy Vesio, then I can shut down other forwards. You know what I mean? So, and then it just each week, you know, the next week against Geelong was one of my best games for the season. So the confidence just builds, and you just put trust in yourself and your ability. And when that confidence is on all-time high, and like you know you've done the work, like nothing else can stop you. And I'm also very fortunate that I work with the back line that I have. Like at Collingwood, we finished the season as the best back line in the comp. We conceded the least amount of goals. You know what I mean? And we were known, like our back line was known for being the best in the competition for sure.
100%.
The girls that we have running through there, but I wouldn't be able to play the role that I did if I didn't have those girls. Exactly. If I didn't have Stacey Livingston being an absolute wall behind me, nothing gets past her. Yeah. And, you know, Lauren Butler and Geordie Allen and Sophie Casey and all these girls who we're just role players. So, you know, it's not just one person. Like at the end of the season, I got the recognition in the back line in All Australian. But there is no way I could have done that without those girls. You know what I mean? Because they allow you to play your role.
100%. It's a unit.
100%.
You all have to play. One kind of gets the reward from everyone's hard work.
Yeah, and you can like. It's like a release. I reckon in every team, like the back line's always the closest.
Have to be.
Yeah, 100%, because it's complete trust in each other. You absolutely, and it's the least selfish line, because you have to use each other and you have to back each other in and help each other out when you need to.
You call each other back of the flight and all that.
Yeah.
Block off.
There's a lot of trust there. But I'm very fortunate with the girls that I've got back there. We absolutely love each other, and we've been able to play with each other for a few years now. And I think it's really clicked this year where we were like, fuck, we get each other. You know, we don't even have to talk. We just which we do. We talk a lot, but we wouldn't have to sometimes. We just know what each other's going to do.
Yeah. Back to that first game against Carlton, how did you manage those nerves? Was obviously from sitting down on the couch, got on with it?
Yeah. I speak to mum and dad before every game. I always call them.
Every game?
FaceTime them. Yeah.
Every game?
Yeah, every game. And I'll FaceTime Corey, my boyfriend. I'll just try and be, I know.
Do you try to separate yourself from football? Like that?
Oh, yeah. But it is so difficult. I started to learn how to towards the end because I would get less nervous. Like by the end, I wouldn't, finals footy, I got nervous, but that's expected. But for the rest of the games, I think it's I started to believe that I belong at the level, which is the first time that I've believed that I belong at the level. You know what I mean? So I got less and less nervous for games. But yeah, that first game Tessie came over. She came and visited and hung out with us for a while, and, you know, we just caught up, and like even while she was there, I was just like, she was like, "Are you right?" I'm like, "Yep." Like you're clenching my teeth, so nervous. But as soon as you get your hands on the footy, like game day, you that goes.
The first one,
that first touch, it all goes, and you're just like, well, I'm here now. You know, like it started. Head down, ass up. You got to go for it.
Does the nerves build? Because you would have been told beforehand that you were playing on Darcy before that Saturday. Did it when you got told you were playing on it? Did it kind of take a while for it to build up, and then game day does it? And then walking out, was that the kind of peak of it?
Yeah,
or was it like the final
think,
siren?
I'm very conscious of how much like mindset can affect your game. So like for me, I found out I was playing on Darcy and I was nervous as hell. Like I found out on the Friday or something like that. Oh no, on the Wednesday. Sorry, because we were playing Friday. And I was straight away, I was like, oh my God, like that's a big job. You know what I mean? Like that's a big job, and I haven't played a good game of AFL footy yet. So for me, that's what happened. Yeah. But then I was like, all right, I actually had to say to myself, like, you worked hard for this, you know, and even before when I had like this thing in the change rooms after the warm up on the field, I'd come in, I'd retie my shoelaces, I'd just like go into a corner by myself. Yeah. And I'd outright say to myself, you know, all the girls would just be like doing hands and stuff. I would have to say to myself, like, you've worked hard.
Yeah.
You've
out loud.
Out loud to myself. You can fucking do this. Like, like it's up to you. There's no one else out there that is going to work hard for you. So, and like you can do it. Like I literally just had to say it till I believed it. And I just had to voice it to be like, all right, no, you really can.
Different.
Yeah, and that every game I went and did that.
It's different when you say things in your head and then you speak it aloud and you hear it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You can do it in your head and then an intrusive thought comes through that is like, oh, I don't know if you can. But it's like when you say it out loud, you like, and I was like, you're fucking made for this, Ruby. Like do it. Yeah. You know, it's only up to you. Like you've got to. Like that's when I went. I'd have to do that every game, and then that would set the tone for me.
That's nuts. That's crazy. Do you still do that now?
Yeah, I did it every game. I mean, I haven't played since our prelim that we lost, but up until then, and it's something I'll continue to do probably.
Do you keep a journal like a footy journal about like a notebook? Not really.
Nah, not really.
Don't really write it down or anything like that.
Nah, not really.
That's enough. What you do at the moment?
Yeah. I'm not really like the journal type.
That's fair enough. Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So obviously you've All Australian this year, second runner up in the Best and Fairest. How does that feel? Does it lighten you up? Does it fuel the fire for another good season? Or it doesn't really bother you because it's not about those accolades?
Oh, it would have been nice if we bloody came away with you'd
granny.
100%. Like you would, that would have, like it was a really disappointing end to the season. Like to get so close, 4 points within Brizzy. It's just like, fuck. And then they take it out and you're like, God damn it. So that's a heartbreaker. But yeah, I mean like that for me, I didn't go into those like awards nights expecting anything, because like who knows. So like for me to actually like the All Australian, like at the league Best and Fairest, they'd like previous years, I know that the All Australians have gone up onto the stage and they stand there like as sort of the team.
Yeah, the team, yep.
And so I figured like that's what would be happening again, right? And then one of the Fox Footy people came over to me and said like, oh, Rubes, can we have a chat to you? I was like, easy. And we were sort of standing in the corner and I was wearing like a room full of hundreds of people. And I was like, oh, so we just like standing here and facing a camera chatting? And they're like, oh, no, we're going to be standing in the middle and everyone's going to be listening and looking to like you'll be on the big screen. I was like, oh, right, fucking stitched up there. And then like as we're walking over, they start announcing All Australian.
Oh, what?
So I'm like, they start like going through it as we're walking over and I'm like, oh, fuck, well, like, obviously I didn't get it because girls are going to be walking up on stage and I'm standing here about to get interviewed and I'm about to get interviewed when I haven't made All Australian. Like, and I was like,
that's weird though.
Damn.
Do you not think that's weird?
Well, because of COVID, girls couldn't go up on the stage and they wanted to keep girls separate and there were like the WA teams were in WA and there was just all the Victorians in the Crown in Victoria. Yeah. So it wouldn't even be the whole team up together. So I was standing there thinking like, oh, fuck, I didn't get it. And then like I popped up and I like was genuine, like, and if you like see, it was like a live interview on Fox and I was genuinely like stuck for, I think it was a really surreal feeling and like it was good that Dad came over and got to, you know, see me get that.
Oh, that'd have been awesome.
Yeah, and then I like looked down, I looked down and he had tears in his eyes. I was like, fuck, Dad, you're going to set me off. Like,
don't do that.
Literally, and that's I like, I'm never usually stuck for words and I got a little bit stuck. Yeah, exactly. I'm like a little bit stuck for words. I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, no, it was really, really good. And then the Best and Fairest, like the club one, was just a really fun night and it was just, you know, nice to get, you know, rewarded for the hard work. But
it's by coaches vote that as well.
Yeah, coaches vote. So but yeah, you know.
So how does that All Australian, is that nominated by like a panel? Is it the same as the guys?
They have a
Do you know who's on that panel?
I think it's like Nick Livingstone, couple ex-players. Yeah. I don't know. There's a few. Would
you rank what means more? Like what's the most valuable? Like is a Best and Fairest MVP award or the All Australian or the Best and Fairest of the comp?
It's not about all that.
No,
I mean, nah. It's not. I mean, like you look at like it would be. It's huge for like Bree Davey, who's obviously a teammate of mine, who took out the league. You know, the women's Best and Fairest for the league. That is ginormous and extremely well deserved. But yeah, it's like it isn't about that as well. You know, like it's awesome to get recognised, but there's a lot of girls who probably missed out by that much. Stacey Livingstone being one, you know, but you can only have 6 defenders in there.
Yeah.
So it's like how do you choose that? Like I could have easily missed out by that much, you know, and you'd trade anything for us to have made that grand final and fucking take it out. But yeah.
Have you played in a granny like as in juniors?
I played in East Freo my first year of league that I then got drafted out of.
What year was that?
We lost to Swans. We lost we came back from like 30 points down and ended up losing by 3, I think, in the last quarter.
No way.
2016. And that was when we had, you know, that was before the draft. So we had all the, like Emma Swanson was our captain. We had all the girls who got drafted in that first year. We like, it was a stacked team and Swans as well. Chelsea Randall, Ebony Antonio, Cara Donnellan, like guns, Gemma Houghton, like I think Gemma Houghton was playing that year. I'm pretty sure she was. Ashley Sharp, like it was an intense grand final and we went down by 3 points. I was like, fuck. And then East Freo won the next 3 and I missed out on all of them. But I'm yet to win a granny. So.
Though I was heading towards because it's hard. Many other girls in Collingwood, they played in many other finals.
Yep. So the one I was co-captain for Collingwood's VFL side the year 2019.
Yep.
So the year before COVID hit, and I injured my typical bullshit. You didn't, did you? I injured my knee and was out for like 14 weeks.
Damn.
So, and we lost 1 game all season and then they took out the grand final, which was awesome.
Right.
But it was hard to watch at the same time.
I bet.
Especially because we'd gone through 3 years of shit, as in like our AFL side, we weren't great. You know what I mean? We really struggled. And then that was the first bit of women's success for Collingwood.
Yep.
And it was like, fuck, like they say, you know, oh, you're a part of it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You don't feel it. You don't like and you're so proud of it. And I was there and I was so stoked for him. But it's
like a different emotion, isn't it?
It is. It's a different emotion because it's like, oh, I just want to be a part of it. Like, you know, you just want to be a part of it. You don't feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was so happy that we got that. And Collingwood's VFL women's team has been a powerhouse. They haven't lost this year, you know, and they hopefully they take it out again this year.
So let's say if nothing happened in terms of COVID or anything like that, all the players, so as soon as the AFL stops, all the players from Collingwood play down in the VFL? Like, are they all aligned? They can't go play for, I don't know, any other VFL clubs? Like,
nah, unless they're delisted,
okay,
then they can go
and play at
another club. But otherwise, they all have to play at Collingwood. But like they don't, you don't have to play. So they put girls into categories. So there's, you know, the young ones. They give everyone a couple weeks break, all the girls who played AFL, because, you know, we've just trained our ass off for the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's they give us a couple week break, also at different times as well. And then like throughout the AFL, you know, they've moved the waffle and the VFL seasons forward. So if you don't get a game, you go down and play VFL and try, you know, push your case to play the next week.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is really good. And then, that like they put it in categories. So girls, you know, it's a lot of the time the draftees, they'll play most games that for the VFL and into the finals. And then they've got, you know, girls who they'll want to play, you know, maybe 3-4 games.
Yeah,
and then the girls who can choose whether they want to, you know, play a couple games, or, you know, the older girls that might need their bodies managed, then they won't have to play. So it's they have girls that it's sort of up to them, but then it's also about developing the young girls who, you know, didn't get a crack or still need a bit of knowledge around the game.
Yeah. That's cool. So did you feel like going to the prelim final against Brisbane, what was the thing that let the team down? Was it?
Brisbane Brisbane and Adelaide are a very high pressure side.
Okay.
They're both of them. And they both have lots of finals experience. We don't. And I think that showed.
Yeah.
We were across them. We were all over them in the first quarter. Second quarter, they fought back in. Third quarter, they blew us out a little bit. Blew us out. I mean, I think they got up like 20 points or something like that. And then we just had a late run in the last quarter, but just left it too late. And pressure. They were all over us. I think that they were faster than us and fitter than us, you know, playing up in Brisbane in the heat. Played, you know, bit of a part in it. I think they ran us off our legs a bit. And like if you look at them, the difference between like their bodies and ours, we look very underdeveloped compared to them. They have some units. Like
did they have an older side?
Gym wise, we're a pretty young side. Gym wise, they look like the next level. That they just seem, and I think they are next level. And so are Adelaide. I remember playing against Adelaide our final round before finals and being like, fuck, they are units. They are built, you know. And you can tell they're a team that have played together for a long time.
Yes.
We're a team we're a young team that a lot of girls are still trying to figure out, you know, are in that stage that I was in, don't realise the importance of gym and how to do it, and still learning how to use their bodies rather than, you know, they're a ready-made finals team. But, you know, we retained the majority of our girls, I think apart from the girls that we didn't lose anyone to trades. So as in like the girls that left were told they were delisted or fighting for a contract. So we retained, you know, all the girls we needed. Important. Yeah, which is really important.
So you got a few big ins as well?
Yeah, Sabrina Frederick-Traub. So I think that's something we were missing. It was a big forward.
Yeah.
A big forward target that we could, you know, we've got a star in Colin Malloy up there. We've got Ash Braz, who can be really flexible and dynamic.
Yep.
But we were just missing that tall target that someone has to, that their best tall defender then has to stick on.
Yeah, then it frees everyone else up.
Frees up another gun, you know. So we've got her now, and hopefully she can, you know, be really damaging for us. Another WA girl, South Freo girl.
Oh, is she?
Yep. So she was playing the first year.
Oh, then she originally Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah. Oh wow, I don't know. Obviously,
another girl who's had finals experience. So
that's big as well.
Yeah, and then so we got Alison Downey with Shani retiring, our ruck.
Yep.
She, you know, we didn't have a ruck, so you know, Alison Downey, I think got told by Carlton that I think Carlton are making their list pretty young and going to go through a bit of a rebuild.
Yep.
So that was really good that we could snatch her up. She's played every year of AFLW, every game, I think. So it's not like she's coming in fresh, without a clue. She's a good all-round player, works hard around the field and can hopefully sort of put it down Bree Davies' neck.
I was going back to the finals experience and how important having a team that has that experience, because it's, like you said before, it's a different beast. Like it's the pressure's dialed up to 100.
100%.
And even doesn't have to be finals. It can just be a pressure point in the year where you have to win a certain amount of games. Something might happen, or it just might be a hard game that's full of pressure, and you're going to need to those players end up standing up in those games. And we're having conversation with the players at East Freo in the men's side, and how many our players have, not many of them have played many finals, if at all. That's kind of why we kind of lack a little bit of experience in that department. And while we're fighting to win against sides or win in close games. And we ran a stat back, and one of the past players, Harry Taylor, when he got drafted as a mature ager, playing in Geelong. He ended up playing 31 games of finals in his career, which ended up being almost two seasons of footy, and how important that is. And I think the leading person at 39 games of finals experience is Sean Burgoyne.
Yeah, right.
So, and how pivotal those players are and how pivotal the players they were in that team during the run of success they had. And how important that is, and just having that experience. And even saying going back is Richmond as well. Like, doesn't matter. Like, they might be 8th, but if they make finals,
they're going to come home
they're
strong.
going to play hard football, and people are going to be very wary of them.
Yeah, I think talking about like that, where that like defining game where it's like you know it's a close one or you run away with it, like that. Our game against North Melbourne, the semi, before we went over to Brisbane, that game was so intense. It was a really weird game. It was like 30 degrees or something, and so it was pretty hot. And they got out to, I think they had 3 goals on us in the last, I think it was like the last 12 minutes or something, and we got back and beat them by 2 or something.
Yeah,
right.
2
was it a bit more? But yeah, we like fought back, and that was, everyone thought we were done. Especially because of the quality side North Melbourne are. Like, they have got stars. They came into the competition and poached a lot of great players. They stole a lot of our players that were in our best and fairest. Jazzy Garner, Emma King. Like, there was a lot of ex-Collingwood girls there who were, our marquee girls, or in our, top 5 best and fairest in the, year 1 and 2. And so for us to fight back like a young, inexperienced finals side to beat a goer, North Melbourne side, that was huge. And in the last, 10 minutes to get those 3 goals back and hit the front, that was like defining moment for us, for sure.
Does it all catch up? Because obviously you'd had to travel up to Brisbane, the flying, all the travel during the season, that kind of, and then obviously you've had the game before that with North Melbourne, the kind of saw, like, just being able to recover and then have to travel. Did that play a bit of part of a little bit, or your kind of team, you're ready to go?
Brisbane were just
too good,
better than us. Yeah. I don't think so. We prepared really well for Brizzy.
Because usually what kind of happened, they have the general kind of story goes, you played the grand, like the week before you lose, like the one you need to win, you've already played the grand final, like air quotes. Yeah. You played the grand final the week before.
Yeah, that's usually it. Which was probably pretty similar to
the narrative. Us. Usually most like the journalists that write that narrative. You generally played the grand final the week before.
Yeah, well, it was probably a pretty similar story for us. But Brisbane, we prepared really well. They came over. You can't use travel as an excuse, because we were meant to play them during the season and COVID hit Queensland. We were meant to go over to Brisbane to play them. And 24 hours before the flight, they got changed. I think they flew in that morning and played us and beat us. So, that's not an excuse. They beat us by 2, I think, that game. So, and that was our first loss for the season. So you can't use travel as an excuse. No one can, because we all have to do it. And that's like a part of, I guess, when you become a professional, is learning how to get going on a travelling game. And it probably takes a lot. Like as, you know, the young kids, the 18-year-olds, you can tell the ones who have travelled before and get used to the away games because you learn to sort of enjoy your own time and do your own thing, go for your own walks, try to keep, you know, things. And then you got the young kids who are so excited to be away and just like, oh my God, let's go into this room. Like, you know, we got like the best of friends that all stick together and hang out in the room for hours and chat and stay up late and talking.
It's like a little getaway.
Literally it's like a friend's getaway. Yeah. But like that's something that you figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, quite.
But yeah, no. So we can't use that as an excuse. They were better than us. They were stronger than us, fitter than us. But yeah, I think we had momentum in probably the last minute. Really? And if there had been a couple more minutes, maybe we would have. But
it's extra 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, but you know, you can't. You don't. That doesn't happen. You just got to get it done.
Do you address the loss after, like the week after, or do you wait? Like, is it going to be the start of this season coming? You will address. We
what do we do? I think we had game review. Oh, we completely done. I actually forgot. I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah, I could guess it.
We all just got super pissed after the game because what else are you meant to do?
Drown your sorrows.
Yeah, drown your sorrows. Yeah, no, it was, I can't actually remember. I think it was sort of our commitments were done after that. We just had a few exits and stuff like that and go through the season.
So at the start of that year, was it do you kind of sit down as a team and map out? Do you want to like map out like this is what we're gonna like? These are the values we're gonna hold through the season. We're gonna play this way, and we're gonna make finals. We're gonna challenge. Like, you know, some teams know if they're gonna challenge for finals, if they're gonna challenge for the prelim, we're gonna challenge, or they want to make grand final, they want to win the grand final. Do you have that kind of chat?
Yeah, I reckon we went 6 games undefeated to start the season. So I think probably 3 or 4 games in, we went like, fuck, we're competitive, you know, because we haven't really been that competitive until then.
Yeah, right.
You know, we made finals before because the season got pushed forward and we were in a good position, which was good. It was, you go through your values and that, you do that at the start. Steve Simmons, our coach, has come in and drilled his game plan into us straight away. So, you know, we know what we're doing. It's also teach the young ones and help them through that, and then finding a way to bring out individuals' strengths in that game plan. So that is sort of what you try and work out is, you know, they set the game plan and then it's okay, like what individually can I bring to this and what can I how can I expose my opponent while playing the game plan? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, you know,
how do you do that yourself?
My attack off halfback, for sure. Like I'm very, my offensive game is all about like run and carry.
Rebound,
run and carry. But I'm like, if my defender kicks a goal on me, I'm filthy.
Yeah.
1 goal and I'm filthy. Like Darcy Vesio, that first game, she got a goal from a free kick. I think I was holding her on top of the goal square or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was her 1 goal for the game. And I remember being like, fuck, like that was just stupid. You know, and but every game it was
it a blatant hold or like it was a bit of
probably.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like it could have gone either way, but I was definitely holding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I probably could have gotten away with it sometimes, but it was a hold. But I was filthy at that. So like I make sure that like I'm doing the most to defend. But also like, as I said, what allows me to rebound is the girls behind me. The girls, like the unit that we have. So, yeah.
Do you kind of, as a back group, do you go out and socialise? Do you catch up outside of football? Do you kind of, because obviously you have to be, like we said, you have to be such a tight group. Is it just all football or do you go out and dinners or do you do?
As a team, we spend a lot of time together throughout the week.
Training and stuff.
You do
be small pockets of time.
Yeah. So like when outside of footy, you like to relax, and it's nice to have people outside of football
of course.
there. And like that first few years of me being over there, like I didn't have as much of like an outside football network.
Yep.
And like probably only the last, year or so, or 3 years up, my best mate Paris over there has been really important for me to be able to relax outside of football. And, all her mates have then become, my best mates as well. So that has enabled me to be able to really take myself away from football when I'm over there and be able to be relaxed as well. So
Sure.
I think that's really important. But, before preseason starts and that, we like to try and get on the piss as a team. I think that's a really important thing that we didn't do in the first couple of years, because it was sort of figuring out can we do this? Like we didn't know we didn't know how to be professionals. So we thought, we're going to step on toes doing this. But now it's it's actually a really important thing to go out, get on the piss, get to know each other outside of the football. And it makes a big difference. And then be able to go to training the next day, the next week, and go hang shit on each other. And it does create a
bit of
closeness.
a camaraderie.
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
It a bit more, because you're not so much of a it's
not a superficial. It's not a job. Then it's your mates. You go out, and you do get closer in that way.
Was it kind of hard as well being, I guess, young when you were drafted into Collingwood, and for people to kind of hold you up? Like you would have been, how old were you when you got drafted?
18.
18. Would it have been difficult for you to move over and then have pressure from coaches, other players kind of holding you up to a certain standard, or was that not a big issue?
That was the first ever year of AFLW, and the difference between the professionalism now and then is not even on the same scale. It is no one knew what they were doing in that first year. Like I look back and I'm like that was terrible. It was not a good program. You know what I mean? It wasn't. But I think people didn't know what they were meant to be doing, or how to be a professional athlete. So I didn't know. We had 42, 45-minute gym sessions a week, in preseason as well. So it's how do you and we weren't really taught exactly how to gym or anything like that. I don't know. It was a funny setup. So it's hard when you don't have people setting high standards now.
From the beginning.
The beginning. So it's now we have very high standards, and we have people in our program, people employees that are there to enforce those standards. And if you don't hit them, you're going to get called out on it. So that's the difference between when I was 18 and now. And now that I'm older and I've seen that difference, I'm now someone that has to enforce that as well and try and be that leader to, even though I'm only 23, we're a young side. So we've, I am considered, I've played all 5 years. I'm considered one of the veterans now, as serious that is. It's you're going to be looked on to set a standard.
Oh, yeah.
So It's nice that I can actually play good footy now, and so it's not all talk, because you feel shit. You don't want to talk up when you're not, you don't want to talk the talk and not walk the walk, you don't want to talk up if you're playing shit. And that's probably been a thing of mine previously, is I'm not performing, so why would I say anything? Because anytime anyone does, you go, fuck off, mate. You're not, you're not doing it. Why would I listen to you? So if you're someone that can perform and actually deliver, then you feel a bit better talking up about it. You feel like you're in a position where you can pull people up. But otherwise, it's when someone does it, you just go, you roll your eyes a little bit and you go,
I guess that's,
you do you, and
I guess that's probably one of the biggest challenges, as well as being a captain or having a leadership role, is that you still have to do that even if your performance is not up to standard. Having to pull people up, that would be the most challenging aspect of any sport.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you have, well, it's also interesting going back, we had Kelly Gibson on the podcast, and obviously she was a part of the Crows inaugural premiership, and she said the exact same thing about when they first came into the competition. It was just from the professionalism from what it was then to where it is now. They were just essentially, they just had no idea where they were
Yeah.
where they were or where they were going to be.
Mm.
There was no expectation. They just they just had a certain game plan that ended up winning.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting.
They had talent that year, and like they are a great team.
Mm.
They were the most talented team that year. Like I don't think it was a
Well,
I don't like it. I'm not sure that it was a who worked the hardest.
yes.
Because no one knew what we were doing. They were a great team, and they are a great
Chelsea
team.
Randall in there.
Aaron Phillips, Ebony Marinoff, Kelly Gibson, like all these absolute jets. They definitely and
Abby Holmes, I think, played in the forward line there as well.
yeah. So
Decent side.
yeah, same as she said. Like it's no one knew what we were doing. We were going out and playing
so
footy
interesting.
like you usually would in your Waffle or your VFL or your Sandful. Like that's what girls were doing, and no wonder people found it unwatchable.
Do you feel like if they, like where it is now, if that was what it was like at the start, do you feel like that would have made a difference, or do you think people would have, like players and people who were there would have been turned off because it would have been too hard?
I reckon it is completely up to the person.
Yeah.
There are people that just don't have it in them and that just like can't flick a switch and to get to work and they won't get a crack, really. But I think there's people that learn to adjust. So I think, completely up to
I guess
the
because there would have been a
individual.
lot of young players
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I should have been delisted. Like my first 3 years, 100% should have been delisted. I'm lucky that my like a big role of mine off field is to like bring girls together, and that's like always been a strength of mine is like camaraderie and just being out, bringing people together, being a trusted person by the girls. And I think that got me a long way that first 3 years.
You feel like that's
100% having a really good relationship with the coaches and with all the girls.
Right.
Off my how I played, I should have been delisted for sure. Like I did not perform until the season before last, where I was injured, but I shot in that Freo game. I showed a bit of this year in that Freo game, but I wasn't fit because I hadn't
done anything much.
I was injured for 5 weeks before that, so I struggled to run out the game, but I showed a bit, you know what I mean? And then, so I was all sweet. But yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that they gave me a chance and they held on, but that's not going to happen anymore either. As in, if you underperform for 3 years, they're going to get rid of you because the girls coming through are bloody good. I was bloody lucky to keep going because we were still in the infancy of it, and there was not a lot of great footy being played, and I was still a young'un that was maybe showing a bit in training and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I should have been delisted for sure. But it was completely up to me and getting myself fit and learning how to treat my body and what I needed to perform.
Did you feel like at the time though you felt like you should have been delisted, or do you only know that now because you've come so far?
I went into every post-season meeting thinking I'm in trouble here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even back then?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and they tell you right then and there, we're going to offer you a year. You could only get 1 year contracts back then. Mm-hmm. So, but I would go into everyone being like, this could go either way. And then, and then I got 2 years, the year that I got injured and only played the one game, I'd signed for 2 years that off season before. So I was safe for this year, and I was out of contract at the end of this year. So, but yeah, I went in being oh no, this is nervous as hell. I was never a certainty, and I was never a certainty for games. Even
even if you're fit,
100%. I didn't every game until last year. I didn't think I was going to get picked for games. I didn't think I was going to get selected, and then obviously injury didn't get selected through injury, but then got selected as soon as I was able and then injured myself again. But this is the first year that I've gone like, oh no, like I'll be in this week. Like I've done enough to keep my spot.
You said earlier on at the start as well, at the start of the podcast, you said you've tasted that, like how good you are now and how much work you've put in to get so far. Do you feel like you're going to have to double that to get better, or do you feel like you have to just ticking the things off?
I think hopefully I keep going on the up, and obviously I'm like little setback with the wrist and that, like strength-wise, there's only so much you can do. And so, I'm going to have to build that up again, which is what I've got you for, mate. So I'll have to, build on that again. But yeah, that's up to me. And I think every year your base fitness goes up. Like I found preseason easier this year, and I'm probably going to find it easier next year as long as I'm doing work in the off season. But because I think like every preseason you get a bit more used to the workload and what you're doing. But yeah, I think, I don't know. The challenge for me will be that now that's expected of me. I haven't had any expectations. Like I haven't had anyone expect anything from me in previous years.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had pressure. The only pressure I've had is what I've been put on myself. Now there's going to be an expectation on me, and I'm going to have to deliver week in, week out. So that's going to be my next challenge, and that's going to be what I'm going to work towards.
Have you thought about how you're going to cope, or how you're going to kind of go about?
No, if I do the work, like I believe that I can play to the same standard, hopefully better than I did this year. So I just know that it's literally up to me and doing the work. So see what happens.
Doing the work.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Can't cut
Put in the
corners,
work. Yep, exactly. So
do you have, outside of the team, Collingwood itself, do you have a kind of player you look up to or model your game on a little bit?
I've always loved Chelsea Randall.
Yeah.
Always. Even when I played her in that grand final, I was rucking against her in that grand final.
You were rucking?
Yeah. I was rucking against her in that grand final.
She was rucking as well?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
We were just two shorties that could jump. That's what it was. I always loved the way she went about it. And even now she's just a gun. She's an absolute freak. As a half back, like I look at her and I go, she is who I want to play like. And then
she has
if I look at the
skills as well.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
She's just an athlete, absolute athlete, but just reads the ball very well. A very smart player. And like that, that runoff is what I try to bring to my game. And like for the men's, like Darcy Moore. Yep. Obviously, seeing how he goes about it. That would be the two that I sort of look to and I go, I'd like to take pieces from their game to make my own.
We talk about the footy smarts and all that. Do you look, obviously you have game vision and that, do you kind of analyse in certain situations where you could have done better we go through match edits after games. So we had Jordan Ruffhead is our backline coach who plays for the men's. Yep.
Right. And so he's awesome. Like he's like, if you don't want to go through edits, you don't have to. But if you can, come find me. And so he, like a lot of coaches will be like, all right, you're up. Like, let's go through this. But he's like, we can watch as much or as little as you want. If you want feedback, come find me. If you don't, if you know what you're doing, all good. Like he very much puts trust in us, which is really good. And I think also what makes us a very good backline is, when your backline coach completely trusts you, you can definitely feel that out there as well. But yeah, so I would usually go to him for feedback. We have a really good relationship. So yeah, and I
do you feel it's beneficial? Like sometimes the people who don't really like watching vision, they get it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, do you feel like the more you watch, the less it's effective, or do you feel more?
I think there's always more to learn. Like there's always something, when you've messed up, and they're the hard ones to watch. You literally watch and you're like cringe. You don't even want to look at it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's always more to learn. It's you sort of.
Yeah.
I know you like to look at your good stuff, but where you cocked up is the stuff that you need to be looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always
That's true.
good to see.
Yeah.
I think in the back line, it's important, like positioning wise and stuff like that. In the midfield and forward line, that's where it comes down to more structure, because they've got to work for their, like in the back line, you've like got 2 jobs: shut down your man, don't let them score. You know what I mean? They're going to dictate where you're going on the field. All you can do is try and beat them to that spot.
Yeah.
And so we have structure and we do stick to that, but we have freedom to go out of that to get the footy. In the midfield and the forward line, they have to create for themselves. You know what I mean? We don't have to create. Ball come, see ball, get it out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like forward line and midfield, they have to create and try and beat what the other team are doing. So for them, I think it's a lot more crucial that they go over it, because then they can see, all right. And for them as well, I mean, like I've made it, previous years I would look at my opponent, whoever I'm going to be lining up on that game, I would look at their edits and see how they play. I've stopped doing that.
You've stopped them.
Yeah, I don't because I go, all right, I know, I'll make sure I know, all right, they're a left footer, they like to lead up with the ball, or they like to be a little crummer front and centre. I like to know little dot points, but I won't go through their vision, because I'm like, all right, what can I do? I'm not focusing on what they can do. What can I do to beat them? What are my strengths? And that has been a big difference, because I think I used to psych myself out.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's
and I'm a confidence player. So if I'm psyched out, I'm off.
Yeah, because if you see someone tearing up on their highlights, like, holy shit.
If I looked up Darcy Vessio's highlights before I played her, I probably would have shat myself. So.
Yeah, you would have looked there shaking on the couch.
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
If you were,
Yeah, that's not something I do anymore. I go, right, I'm playing on her. What am I going to do?
Yeah, right. Fascinating. That's such, because there's so many different schools of thought when it comes to vision and kind of improving your football knowledge as well. So a lot of behind the ground footage?
Yeah. you get all your, like, they have different angles of the game. So you can see, behind the goals footage, so you can see the entire field structure if you are where you're meant to be. And then how the TV videoed it and stuff.
Do you like watching the TV angle like they do it?
Yeah, I rewatch every game anyway.
Every game?
I can't sleep after the game until I've watched it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because your adrenaline is so up, and you just think about everything that you did in it, and you think about everything that went wrong and what you could have done. So I go back and watch the entire game, and then I can go to sleep.
What is that, like on a Channel 7?
No, just on like the AFL Women's app on my phone.
Oh, he's on your app. Yeah.
I'll literally I'll try and go to bed, and it could be 2 a.m. and I won't be able to sleep still. So I'll have to go on and watch the game, and then I can fall asleep.
What do you like? Do you mind dot points? Like, should have done this here, or?
Yeah, I'll probably any little things that I'm like, oh, that was shit, Rubes. I'll like rewind and see try and be like, what should I have done?
There was one, I think you showed me the video. You stuffed up the kick and you had to run back and get tackle. Was that right?
Yeah, chase down tackle.
Yeah, chase down tackle.
Yeah. And they put it like in like with the All Australian. They put it in like they do a highlights package. And I was like, thank fuck. They put the tackle in there. I was like, thank God they didn't put in the shanked kick.
The shanked kick.
Oh, it was a stinker. I don't know if I kicked the ground or what happened, but I was like, thank God I caught her, because that was an open 50 and I would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Did the coaches pump you up, or they're like, thank God you tackled her?
Yeah, I think they're like, thank God. I was like, oh, Roos. But yeah, no, it was not my finest moment.
No, it's fake, because I've because obviously I watch a lot of footage from what we get at the club, and I sometimes find it hard to watch AFL now, especially on the coverage, because obviously you have the TV coverage follows the football and it shows you the stoppage, but like I like sitting up and you kind of get to see the structures and how much room they get. You can tell how most of them play. That depends if the team's in the defensive 50 and they just kind of push all their players forward and they get the run out the back. Or
you can figure out their game plans pretty quickly.
I like the ones how they do. They're kicking out the back line now, and what they do, how they set up and setting up from stoppages, and kind of interesting to see. I like it like that. And
see how teams work.
But yeah, I found it's amazing. You watched the game straight after. I understand that that your adrenaline's up and you can't sleep, but you don't.
Especially after late games. Late games are the worst. Like that Carlton game, I don't think I slept till like 4.
Really?
Because we didn't get out of there till, I think the game started at 7:30 or 7:45.
Oh, it's late.
And then, so we're there till, I think we were there till 10. And then, which like, I mean, the boys' games go for a hell of a lot longer. They've got, you know, their 30-minute quarters. Ours is 15 minutes with time on for goals.
15 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
It should be longer.
Yep. 15, 16, I don't know, something like that. But then time on for goals. So, yeah, that game, like get home, I reckon we got home at probably 10:30, 11-ish. And then you're just sitting up like, going through
Have you tried,
your head, talk to your parents on the phone.
Yeah, good time difference.
You know, like get their feedback on the game.
So you instant feedback you need. We just less like to watch
I call Dad straight away. Yeah, or FaceTime Dad straight away because Dad sees the game really well. And he's always got like something for me. So he'll be the first person that I talk to. And then because I really trust his opinion on everything, and then I'll usually, FaceTime the boyfie and then get the feedback from the coaches whenever we rock up to training next.
Yeah. Did you ever try anything else? Like, before you got onto the game, was it you would watch cartoons or something, or was it always straight to the AFLW app and open the game?
Oh, we'd like chill out on the couch. Like me and the housemates would usually sit on the couch and like dissect it. Talk about
really, so it was always a thing.
Like your adrenaline's so high, it's all you can think about and all you can talk about. Like you talk and you go like, oh fuck, that was really annoying. Or
have you not burnt out? Like you would have thought that so much footy.
No, it's important that you learn to switch off in your off days because once that's done, you go to training on Monday.
Yeah,
you have a game review, so you're thinking about it until then, and you're thinking about all right, what feedback is the coach going to give me, and then you move past it. So come Tuesday, that game's behind you. You don't think about it. Then you're thinking, all right, what am I doing next game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like if you love it, you're excited for the next game. I would be playing, and then 2 days later, I'm like, oh, I'm so pumped for this. You know what I mean? You're ready to go because it's a short season. It's for us that we're not playing 22 rounds like the boys are. Like that's ridiculous. 22 rounds. Like we don't even play everyone once yet. So for us, it's like it's short and sweet, and so we cannot wait to do it.
That's a good point.
So when our season comes around, we are ready and raring to go. We're like, oh, get me out there, get the crowds there, get the TV on us, like because it's still so foreign to us. Yeah, the people are watching us on TV or paying to come watch us play. Like that is the coolest thing ever. So for us, we're like, oh my God, yeah. For the boys, they're used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I guess because as well, it's a bit a little bit more like a honeymoon kind of. You haven't done it like if it's someone who's been in the AFL system for like 8 years, then it's like it gets hard because every day, like even if anyone is working at a job for 8 years, it gets hard to show up for work. Just even in their off season, it gets hard to kind of switch off because you have to start back up to season and their body gets trashed. And if you have to have surgeries and you're in a sling, or you're like like yourself, you're in a wrist-based cut, you're limited with what you can do. Yeah, I guess kind of it beats you down a bit, but it's sixth season coming into this year. Yeah, season. Yeah, so it's all still new, and the season get longer now, starting in December. Well, pre-season starts in 12 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, start of September. Like very start of September, yep. So it'll come around quick. Better get moving.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite ground you like to play on?
I loved, even though we lost on it, I loved playing on the Gabba.
Yeah.
That was sick. That was my first time playing on there. I love Icon Park because there's Gabba and Icon Park.
That's Carlton's Icon Park, is it? Yeah. They're like East Freo. They're wide, fat wings, like super wide, plenty of space to run in. So I, love those grounds. Use the space a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. The Gabba was awesome.
Yeah. Where do Collingwood? Where do you guys play?
We are Vic Park.
Vic Park.
Yeah. Okay. I like Vic Park as well. We didn't lose this year at Vic Park, so I think there's a bit of good juju there at the moment. So
juju.
Yeah.
Who's the renowned? Surely you'd have someone who's like a serial or known for getting the hair done, getting the tan for the TV games every week. Someone.
Probably Stacey Livingston tans every Thursday.
In preparation for
In prep for the
coverage?
game. Yep. Fake tans. There's a few fake tanners. I think Chotch fake tans, our captain. She likes to do herself up a little bit.
Not yourself?
Sarah Rowe always looks way too good for game day. She's makes sure she's looking pretty. Who else is there? Maddie Shevlin, who's she's gone to Richmond.
Okay.
She would fake tan for game day, but she's also one of the whitest people you ever meet. So.
Oh, really? Does that make it better or worse?
Probably better, especially if you're in your white uniform. Like,
oh, that's right. Yeah, you're away.
Yeah, you're away white uniform. Black, You want to have some sort of colour, but it's summer. Like,
Does she not get sunburned? Is she worried about getting sunburned?
She goes, if she tans, she goes red and then white again.
Like myself.
Yeah.
So I get that. I understand that pain because if you're wearing white on black, you even look even paler.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're good to look better colour.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't tan, or I just get more freckles, and then just got to wait for them to join up.
Yeah, that's it.
So do you have? So if you're gonna have a set dinner with anyone, 4 people, and it could be anyone you can choose, who would you pick?
4 people.
4 people for a dinner. The dinner can go for as long as you want it to go for.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Oh, this is really difficult. Pink, the singer.
Oh yeah, the artist.
I've always loved her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like my idol growing up.
Yeah, the rebellion.
Yeah, because she was like one of the first concerts I ever went to because she was like this cool tomboy. I was like this little tomboy. She was this really cool tomboy who was awesome.
Did you go to the one where she did like some acrobatic like ribbon? She like she ties herself up to the ribbon and she drops herself down and catches her like last second?
I think I was like 12 when I went to her concert.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
But it was, she was unbelievable. Always loved her. So Pink.
Yeah.
That's a really tough one. Probably Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
I'd want it to be a funny dinner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Pink's got some humour on her. Will Ferrell's hilarious.
Yeah.
You sort of want to pick, after watching The Last Dance, Michael Jordan's brain, you sort of want to pick his brain a little bit, don't you? And
the last one. This is the one that's full of pressure as well.
I know.
Because you can't.
Probably Kobe
Bryant.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The GOAT.
Yeah. Interesting. You was talking about Michael Jordan. I love the fact that everything for him was personal. Everybody he made, like he went out of his way to make it something personal. Like he didn't have to. Like some of those things were like, I can't remember certain instances, but there was times where a reporter said something, he was like, well, fuck you, I will show you.
Exactly.
Some people don't even read like that sort of stuff just because people write negative stuff. But he was like, well, he wrote that, fuck him, I'm going to show that guy not to write shit like that again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, just like
amazing.
It's sheer like competitiveness in them.
And people say, yeah, competitive, but I think that's just a different level of competitiveness, isn't it? It's nuts.
Living and breathing it.
Fuck, insane.
Yeah, it's as if there's just no switch off, which is no way to live. Like,
I think it took a toll on that. One of the reasons why I think they retired halfway through like that.
If you're going to be that successful, like it works, but like that would be like draining. Like you said, like for me, there's no switch off. I'm only playing 9 home and away games.
They play 88 or something, something
crazy like that. I guess they don't have time to switch off when they're playing 2-3 games a week.
Always found it funny because when now his name's gone. We went and had that 48-hour. It was Jack Jordan. Who was the other mate? There was 3 of them. Dennis Rodman, that's it. Dennis Rodman, and he had the 48-hour vacation in Vegas. He said, I needed a bit of a break. Dude,
weird character.
When you have, that guy switched off. He switched off hard.
Bloody hell. Didn't rock up to training or something like that.
When Jordan picked him up, he rolled up to training in his pajamas, like he had his little pajama pants and stuff. Did you obviously started in basketball? Like that was your sport growing up. Do you have a bit of a love relationship that way? You would have Jordan as well. You love the game.
Love basketball. But like basketball was everything like up until I got drafted. Like even that year of league, basketball was my absolutely everything.
Basketball top, and then underneath
And then
was
Yep.
your waffle W. Or
Yeah.
it wasn't waffle W at that stage, but
Yeah.
that's what it is now.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So were you aiming to go college or anything like that?
Yeah, aimed to go college, and then was talking to a few colleges and had like fractured my back a couple times, which then just like
Vertebrae.
yeah, like a stressy.
Okay.
Stressy. Yeah. So
Lower back.
one of them was like impact. I don't know. It was at that age where it's like we get your mum to come along to the doctors with you, and the doctor's like, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like, you look to your mum like, "Can you answer?" So like, mum would know what it's all called. But I heard it was my last year of state basketball, so like representing WA, and I was captain of the team that year, and it was a scratchy WA Metro who I was playing for versus WA Country.
Yep.
And I went up for a layup, came down pretty hard, like just uneven on my feet, and felt something really sore.
In your back?
Kept playing, yeah.
Weird.
Kept playing, got like fouled, and then just like came down uneven on my feet.
Okay, yeah.
Felt really sore, kept playing, went over, played, like just left it, went over, played basketball, and was like so sore, like near bloody crawling off the court.
Really?
So sore. Played like one of the games I could only play about, I think 10 minutes, played half a game against Vic Country. I reckon I maybe played 1 or 2 full games, and it was like through pain. So really struggled. And then came back, that turned into like a PARS defect.
Yeah. Ooh.
So like that's just there now. It took me a while to figure out how to like strengthen that and stuff. That gave me a lot of grief even into my first few years of AFL, because it would just spasm and it was just so sore. And then 6 months later after I did that, just a stress fracture on the other side, same level. So that, which was knocked me more on my ass. That was the sort of like laying in bed trying to sleep. If you move the slightest bit, agony, like where the first one I kept going, and that's why it turned into PARS, which was stupid. But the second one, that was like I struggled with that one a bit more.
Right, and that was right in that period of getting drafted?
My last year of school. Not getting drafted, but looking for a college. My last year of school, and then obviously no college is going to take a chance on someone who's they're back twice in the last year, and an international player. So is what it is.
So as soon as that was out of the question, would you just throw yourself into footy? Did you expect to go?
No, because we'd heard that the draft was going to be, I think we heard it was going to be 2022. I thought 2021. That's what they were originally saying, that the AFL Women's the draft was going to be the first one.
Wow.
And then it got moved forward.
Yeah, right.
Or was it 2020? Or maybe 2020? I can't remember, but it was a few years. Like they moved it forward really quick. So I was still focused on getting back to basketball, trying to play SBL down at Willetton.
Yeah, okay. So you just
play basketball and
play basketball here.
Yep, play basketball here. And like, if I could try and play WNBL or something, but then just footy sort of took over. They said the draft was happening and it all went from there.
Yeah, and then so that draft, did you get called up from Collingwood? Did they say we want you, or that is kind of
Webbo?
Because obviously,
Webbo was got asked to go over and coach the Collingwood's midfield.
Yep.
And so she asked me to come over with her. She said, "Do you want to come play for Collingwood?" And I was like, "Yeah." Shit. I was like, I didn't think that I was a chance to get drafted. Like I hadn't focused on footy. It hadn't been a priority of mine. It was like I was going to try for it, but I didn't think I'd get there because there was a lot of older girls that were a lot better than me. You know what I mean? Like I was pretty lucky. I think I was one of the youngest to get drafted that year. I was very lucky to do so, and it's because Webbo saw something in me. So I've got a lot to thank her for.
What was it that she saw? What do you think that she saw?
I think, I played footy when I was a junior and I was kicking that and loved it. and was competitive against the boys as well, you know. Like, it's not like I was just there to run around. Like, I was always competitive and, you know, worked hard. And then so I think she sort of just saw me as quite a natural footballer.
Yeah, right.
So, like, through youth girls and stuff like that. Like, I played 2 years of youth girls before league and was, you know, I had brought a couple of mates down with me and we'd always usually, like, run amok a little bit. It was, you know, there'd always be, like, a few girls who had never played before and were just doing it because they loved it. And then there was a few of us that just knew how to play. So I think she probably watched me play that and then from there, played that year of league and, you know, did as much as I could. And
do you feel like as well your old man obviously has good knowledge and your brother played waffle levels, or did that help you as you were younger? Because obviously
I like to think that, like, I have a pretty good view of the game and that, like, that I have a good knowledge of the game, and that's something that I will, you know, I can sort of lead the back line at Collingwood in that way. And if there's a new person coming in, you know, I feel that I'm quite knowledgeable and can help them out if they're not sure about either structures or what their next move should be, sort of thing. And that definitely comes from, like, my dad and my brother. Always picking their brains and
Do you feel, well, what would be, or what do you kind of go to when someone comes in for advice, like a young player comes in? Would you kind of, first thing you kind of say to them, or if you are, or do you know what the first thing you would say? Would you recommend something to them that would help them kind of kickstart the career or help them kind of get used to the environment, I guess?
Sort of just, it's not as much what you say, but, like, what you do. Like, if you can take someone under your wing and show them the ropes a little bit, show it. Like, for me, I didn't have someone in those first 2 years take me under their wing and go, this is what we're doing there. This is how you do this. This is how you should be gymming. This is the standards you should be setting. I didn't have that until Rowie came and moved in with me. So I think doing that from the get-go, you know, like, I could have been a different player early on if I had that. But as I said, as we spoke about before, that wasn't there in that first year. So I think, more so just, like, being there and setting a standard with what you do rather than what you say. For sure. And
Rowie's Sarah, isn't it? Yeah. So she played Gaelic football over? Yeah.
Jet for Mayo.
And that's quite a professional kind of league over there, isn't it?
It's amateur. Yeah. So they do not get a cent. Yeah. They aren't paid for it. If they make money, it's through sponsorships that they get for themselves. They purely do it for, like, the love that they have for the game and like pride for where they've come from. You know, county pride. They play for who they grew up with where they grew up, and they don't move teams and that's very often. Yeah, and that's why she's so professional again. Like they've been massive standard setters in the way of, like, off field gym, all that sort of thing, because they know how to do it. Like, I've looked at you know, she showed me the nutrition, what the nutritionist gives them. Like, they have a nutritionist, an S&C, all of this. And it's amateur. Yeah, it's amateur. And it is probably still miles ahead of what we're doing at AFL level. Like, there's still, especially definitely in the nutrition side, what they are given, I'm like, we are not given anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a long way to go. Sheets or something? Sheets of stuff, like recipes. Ran through, absolutely. Like, what you should be eating on training days, non-training days, all this sort of thing. So, it's like we've, in that way, like, you see, and you can see it in the Irish girls that come across and play. They slot right in. You know, Cora Staunton at GWS, she's, you know, she's good. The Kellys here in West Coast. Yeah, but they're speedy. They're faster than anyone else, and they know how to work hard, which I think is something that and that'll come in AFL as the standard is set from a younger level, as we get academies and stuff that push them like the boys. Like, the boys have academies that they're given a standard that they have to train at, and then they get drafted. The girls, it's been, okay, play a few good games of youthies or waffle or state, and you've got some talent, we'll pick you up. You know what I mean? Where now
the grassroots maybe isn't as developed.
Yeah, well, they're just academies like the what's the word? The opportunity.
Yep.
Like isn't there for us to get a teenager and go, I'll show you this gym stuff now, so that when you go and you're doing heavier stuff, like you've got the basics.
Interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
That's definitely not there.
There's no Collingwood Academy.
No, not for the. There's like an overall, like there'd be a state academies now. So there'd be a Victoria, there'd be a WA, like for younger.
Because I'm not sure if you know, here they do Fremantle have an academy, and so do the West Coast.
Yeah,
I think once or twice a week
was down there training for a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you have obviously Sarah Rowe? I think you've even mentioned to me that she has an 8-pack. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You tried great cheese on those.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's the better cook? You, her?
We are both so plain.
Yeah?
As in like she
chicken rice or
she is we just eat the same thing every day.
Yeah.
We both eat like this Thai chicken salad.
Yep.
For lunch every day. She'll usually have like salmon or something for dinner. But she's like, she's the worst. She never puts down like a cutting board. Like she could be cutting meat on the counter and she won't use a cutting board because she can't be bothered. Like she's the worst. She was cooking salmon in the oven without putting like paper down.
On the
it was just like oily, fishy. And I had to say to her like, Rowie, put that down, because I walked into the apartment one time and it was just like smelt of fish.
Oh, because the oil was left on the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck. I reckon there was a period where I ate too much salmon, and then now I'm at a bit off it. Like I don't, even the smell puts me off sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't mind if there's a bit of crispy skin on it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't mind it every once in a while. It's definitely not on my
what's your go-to
usual rotation. What's my go-to? What do I usually have? Like just standard shit. Chicken.
Yep.
Veggies. Might chuck in like a healthy like homemade burger in there sometimes, like a beef burger.
With game day or pre-game, you're a pasta?
Yeah, I'll sort of chop and change. This year we had like My Muscle Chef meals.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, we were giving them after trainings. It's just what the club got us for after meals, which they're actually really good, and you can see all the macros and that on it. And the ones that I just really liked, so I'd just get one of them before games.
Oh,
and
you don't really think about it too much?
No, not really. Then they had some pasta ones, some just like noodle ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, didn't think too heavy. I reckon I used to not try and be superstitious, but I probably thought like, okay, you did this last week, so make sure you do it this week.
Oh, okay.
But like now I'm I find there's a lot less, that builds pressure on you.
Yeah.
Because you can't control everything. When you travel and stuff for games, nothing's going to be the same. So I think now I'm less onto that and more like this is, just try and each game is different.
I'll get killed by Casey. I call Casey my editor-in-chief for the podcast, and she's a bit of a G-Flip, she is a G-Flip fan.
Yeah.
You need to tell me or even Meaty as well, and he's a bit of a G-Flip fan as well. Meaty loves her.
Oh, God.
You need to tell me what it's like hanging out with her and getting an invite to her place.
Yeah, no, it was like really good fun. She's a great chick, post-season. She'd come to all our home games and that. She's like mad Pies fan. Always has been since she was little.
Follow the socials.
Yeah, so like a lot of us girls would listen to her music.
Oh, yeah.
But she's almost like a bigger fan of ours. Like it's so funny. She's a massive.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
both ways.
Yeah, she's a massive. Which I think we all just like really respect what each other does.
Oh, yeah.
So she's a really cool chick, and her cousin Shah, who's a personal assistant as well, like she's a ripper. So we usually invite them to come party with us whenever we're partying.
I feel like you she'd be one of those people you can sit down and have a beer with, like just real chilled out.
Yeah, no, she's So no, I think it wouldn't be a chilled beer. I think it goes pretty next level.
Pretty quick?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So. But I think like that's just like
that's the world they live in.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like they like perform and then they'll go get on the piss. Like I think that's sort of what it is.
That's nuts.
But, yeah, like she'll get like the club invited her to our Best and Fairest and stuff, and
she'd be good for.
Yeah, she's good fun.
Promote
her and Shah. Yeah, definitely. I think that like she wants to be the number one ticket holder for the women's game. Not that there is number one ticket holders. But she wants that title. So.
What's your favourite song? Hyper Fine.
Probably
Drink Too Much.
Oh, Drink Too Much is pretty good.
Yeah.
You and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink Too Much is up there for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're all pretty good.
Do you have any bad habits that you've had to kick out, or in terms of like does it have to be
chocolate? Binge eating chocolate. I love it. It's so good. It's probably just like not eating as much of it. But like otherwise not really. Bad habits wise. I think you just like work out.
Yeah, biting nails at all?
No.
Pretty good?
Pretty fine. I don't really have I'm not a really annoying person. Talking too much is my habit. I don't shut up.
This is why you were earmarked quite early on the podcast when the podcast was in its infancy. And I was just brainstorming. You're number one just for that reason.
Yeah.
You talk too much is your bad habit.
I know. I think Corey wants to put a word count on me for each day because he can't get a word in. So
word count. That's hilarious.
If we're like going on holiday and we're like driving in the car, we drove up to Broome.
You drove to Broome?
Yeah, last New Year's, and he was very close to putting a word count on me.
How long is that? That's a long time.
Like close to 24 hours. So you
broke it up, obviously.
Yeah, over 2 days.
Yeah, wow.
We got left at like 3 a.m. on the 27th of December and got there on the 28th at like 6 p.m. or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you have a time where you were most motivated and fired up? What was that time and what made you?
In what way?
Anyway, it could have been footy, it could have been life. What gets you most motivated?
Probably, I reckon when I broke my wrist last year.
Yeah.
And there was the possibility that I could come back and if we made the grand final. So and they were like, just all you can do is run, just like run the house down. So I was doing like 11, 12K running sessions. And I don't like running. Like I said, it's not like I don't like it when I'm doing it. Like takes a lot to get me out of bed. Like I'll always get it done, but the thought of doing it, I'm like, now I have to do this. So yeah, probably then because I was like, all right, there's a chance. Like it might only be a slim chance, but they've given me a chance to, if we made the grand final, that I could make an appearance. So probably then, but then that carried into that
season.
Off-season.
Oh yeah, off season.
That waffle season. I just enjoyed that waffle season. I competed, but I made sure I wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like I made sure I just enjoyed my footy.
Yeah.
I didn't put any pressure on myself.
Back to fun, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Just be able to enjoy it without any pressure. And then, that just sort of flowed in through. So hopefully the same thing happens with this. Yeah. All I can do is run, just get really good at it again. And so I feel like shit at the moment. Like 10 days off with the bloody full cast on.
Can't even rotate
I know,
the
there's
wrist or anything
not
like
much at the moment, not much movement.
That sucks. But do you much of a reader at all? Read many books?
I try to get into it and then I just like fall asleep.
Fall asleep reading books?
Yeah. Nah, not really. I should do more. Mum and my sister's a big reader.
Yeah.
And my mum, and they like my sister's into all like the self-help motivational books. Yeah. Tries to get me onto it. I'm like, yeah. No. I don't know. I'm just like, especially I think because when you're living with like your two best mates as well, we would stay up chatting until 12 at night. So if it's between and then by the time you go to bed, you're knackered. And I'm not going to read during the day. You do it when you go to bed. But when you live with your two best mates, you're up talking and carrying on, you know. A lot of the time we wouldn't even have the TV on. We'd just be up having a cuppa and just chatting shit. So you don't really do it.
Have you thought of starting your own podcast?
Nah.
No?
No,
Surely.
Oh, nah, probably not.
Why not?
Maybe sometime. Maybe through the club or something like that.
I reckon you should.
Yeah.
Why not? What's stopping you?
I'm just really shy, Maddie. I don't like to talk that much. Yeah, I'm a bit awkward.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, especially over in Melbourne. You have prime real estate.
Then you'll have another competitor, mate. What happens if my podcast ends up on the charts?
The only person listening to this podcast is my mum.
Oh, hey, Mum.
Yeah, mate. I would not
do it for fun. And
I do it for fun. I do it.
Learn stories.
It motivates me more than anything else. Yeah, usually sit alongside people who do more than what I do. So
cool things. And
do pretty cool things. Which is
a good reason to do it.
And because obviously meet you and I'm surrounded by other players and who have done other things, and just sitting down and get a look inside their minds. And
yeah, definitely.
Before we finish, my Uncle Frank, when you first started listening to the podcast, really enjoys them, right? And he gave me a whole list of questions, and he wants to ask everyone who comes on the podcast. But I'll give you one.
All right.
Ready? If money wasn't an object and nothing wasn't possible, what would you do?
Oh my God.
That's my favorite.
And nothing was impossible.
Money was not an object and nothing is impossible.
Cure cancer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And
that's it?
Cure cancer and like all those just child diseases and shit like that.
It's very noble of you.
Figure it out. I'm a very noble person. All those sicknesses that have no
cure yet.
Cure. Yeah. That sort of thing.
A lot less suffering.
And then buy a house in Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Probably. There was some buy an island or something.
An island's pretty badass. If you can get an island where it's
Hawaii. Money's
not an object.
Yeah. So I'd do it all. To live somewhere coastal.
Yeah.
Where I can just surf all the time.
And find solace. It relaxes you, the water and the sand.
Be able to have all my family set up. Yeah. That sort of thing.
Hiking or surfing? Surfing. Do you like
Definitely.
Do you go through the nature trails go through the
Not really. I need to do more of that. There's they got
camping? Camp on the beach.
I'd camp on the beach. Yeah. Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah.
That's probably best. I don't camp at all.
Yeah.
But if I was going to camp, I'd be
super did when I was younger, did the Gibb River Road with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And you do 2-hour hikes down to gorges and that. Loved that.
Yeah.
But would rather go to the beach and go for a surf or just relax. That's my relaxation, my turn off.
If you were to recommend a place to go visit or camp or
Esperance.
Esperance? Is that south?
Yeah,
North?
8 hours south.
8 hours south.
Yeah. We've got
bit of a trip.
Holiday place there and
so you recommend?
Meant to be gone this New Year's, but our season got moved forward. So I don't know if I can make it. But one of some of the best beaches you'll ever see. So gorgeous.
I think where's the orcas? Are they Albany? I think they do whale watching down there. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a bit of whale watching in Esperance. You can sort of see them from a few spots, but yeah.
That would be, if it was one of the things to be on my bucket list, it would be going to see all killer whales, and that'd be, even when I was younger, I think I was real into that. Free Willy?
Yeah,
maybe I was into that. I think just even that documentary Blackfish that came out, and they just kind of
I had to watch that in English in year 12.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I think everyone did. I think that's the sort of one of the
ones.
That
was way after my time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, you're old as fuck. So.
Hey. Come on now. People say that. Fuck, I'm not that old.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll be off my bucket list.
Yeah.
Do you want to shout anyone out before we're done? Wrap it up.
Shout out to your mum. Shout out
my
to
mum.
Uncle Frank. Shout out to Meaty for loving G-Flip. Shout out to the Victorian fam, Godfrey Street. They'll love me for that.
Godfrey Street?
Yeah, Godfrey Street, Pazza, Ebbs, Munners, Vorbs.
Do you want to point the finger or do you want to put anyone on blast? Put anyone on notice? Who needs to be put on notice?
Oh.
Any bad tattoos going around? They need to put someone out there?
Nah. I'm a nice person.
You don't want to put anyone on blast?
Nah.
You're too nice, Ruby Schleicher.
I'm too nice.
Thank you very much for coming on the Being There Done Matt podcast.
Thanks, Maddie.
Appreciate it. All the best for your injury and All the best for 2021-22 season.
See you next week.
Thanks,
Get to
mate.
work, mate.
Yeah.